The James Bond franchise has been in cinema for over 60 years, or even 70 if you count unofficial movies. During this time, there were less than a dozen Bonds, but there were many more of his girlfriends. Amorous Agent 007 often changed several girls in one movie, so there were about 80 women in 25 movies, and only a little more than 50 of them had names, let alone character development and integrity in most cases. And nevertheless, let's take a look back at the most memorable female characters of the famous movie franchise and what became of the actresses who played them.
Okay, come here.
Don't you think we ought to get to know each other just a little bit before we,
Oh, no.
The Bond girls. What happened to them after Bondiana? Ursula Andress, the sexy polyglot. On the posters of the first official Bond film, Dr. No, Sean Connery is surrounded by a whole plethora of half-naked beauties, and the girl in the white bikini had a special place among them. On the screen, the character, named Honey Rider, emerged from the foam of the sea like Venus. She was portrayed by Swiss model and actress Ursula Andress. And while Honey wasn't intellectually gifted, according to the plot, she didn't even have a primary education, Ursula spoke several languages by the time she was 16, including French, German, and Italian, and later studied art in Paris for a year. In Rome, the girl pursued a career as a photo model, and after moving to Hollywood, tried to act in movies. She had no success, but that all changed when the producer of the Bond franchise, Albert Broccoli, saw a photo that Ursula's husband had taken and gave her the role of Bond's girlfriend without an audition. Andress caused a sensation, becoming the perfect girl of Bond. She won the Golden Globe for Best Debut and permanently took over male sexual fantasies all over the world. Ursula said she owes her career to the white bikini. After the starring role, the actress gained freedom of choice and financial independence. She starred with Elvis Presley and often appeared on the pages of Playboy magazine. But in the 70s, her career went downhill, and in 2000, she was diagnosed with osteoporosis. At first, she took the doctor's words lightly, but a few years later, as the situation worsened, she became the face of a campaign to raise awareness about the disease. Ursula encouraged women of all ages to pay attention to their bone health and stop thinking that it's just an old lady's disease. The actress currently lives in Rome and Switzerland, and in a recent interview admitted that she has had a fabulous life, and if she had to pass away tomorrow, she wouldn't mind. That very white bikini from the movies was sold at a London auction for £40,000. Daniela Bian, a one-role actress. In the second Bond film, the girlfriend of Agent 007 and part-time KGB officer Tatiana Romanova, played by an Italian girl named Daniela Bian. 3 years before that, she was runner-up in the Miss Universe pageant and was trying to pursue an acting career. She was lucky. The producers of From Russia with Love offered her the role, although because of her strong Italian accent, Tatiana was voiced by another actress. After that, the girl's career should have gone up, but she never had another prominent work. In 1970, she ended her career altogether and married an Italian shipping tycoon. Bianchi appeared on screen again only in 2012, but it was a documentary. Honor Blackman, the judo fighter. Then Pussy Galore, played by Honor Blackman, appeared next to James Bond. This British woman got into the Bond franchise thanks to a role in the popular British television series The Avengers, where she showcased her judo skills. But even before that, she was quite a sought-after actress in her homeland. Honor's character in Goldfinger was quite provocative. They even wanted to make her name less vulgar by replacing it with Kitty, but they kept the controversial name, although they decided not to include it on the American promo posters. After this memorable role, Blackman went on to have a prolific film career. Among her best-known works are the TV series Columbo and Doctor Who, as well as the cult rom-com Bridget Jones's Diary, though in the latter she had only a cameo. The actress also did a lot of theater performances. They even wanted to give Honor the title of Commander of the Order of the British Empire, but she flat out refused. This was because she was a strong advocate of Republican government in the UK. The actress was twice married and twice adopted children before passing away in 2020. Claudine Auger, Miss France. In the fourth Bond film, they once again cast a model and Miss France title holder, Claudine Auger. The producer of Thunderball spotted the beauty while vacationing in the Bahamas and had a role written specifically for her. To be fair, she did have some experience in movies, albeit a little. The role of James Bond's girlfriend helped Auger have a successful career in Europe, but not in the US. With the advent of the 21st century, the actress stopped appearing in movies and went off the radar. In 2019, she died in Paris after a prolonged illness. Akiko Wakabayashi's fatal role. In You Only Live Twice, Agent 007's girlfriend was to be played by a Japanese actress, Mai Hama, while the small role of Kissy Suzuki went to Akiko Wakabayashi. But in the rehearsal process, it turned out that Mai doesn't speak English well, and the girls switched roles. In the following years, Akiko acted in a few more films but soon disappeared from the cinema screens. The fact is that on the set of the Bond movie, she was injured, and because of this, she ended her career. Diana Rigg, from Bond's girl to queen. In the 6th James Bond movie, and the only one where the super agent was played by George Lazenby, he had 4 girls at once, the most prominent of which was Tracy DiVincenzo. The daughter of the head of the Mafia clan was played by British actress Diana Rigg. She has been performing on the theater stage since she was 13, and at 17, she enrolled at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. Diana had a hard time studying, but she did get her degree. After that, the girl played a lot of theater roles and starred in films and television. Like Honor Blackman, she starred in the Avengers series, and her success was cemented by her role in the Bond movie. Rigg had an underwhelming run of her own show, but she mostly performed in theater. The actress has won several national awards during her long career and starred in Game of Thrones from 2013 to 2017. She played the role of Olenna Tyrell, the wise and conniving head of the aristocratic Tyrell family. Her last work was the miniseries Black Narcissus, and in 2020, Diana passed away from cancer. Jill St. John, Bond's first American girlfriend. Tiffany Case from Diamonds Are Forever is a pretty smuggler with a gorgeous figure and a devilish mind who frequently changed her hair color. She was played by an American woman of Jewish descent, Jill St. John. From early childhood, the girl performed on radio and television, studied at the Hollywood Professional School, and signed a contract with 20th Century Fox. She was typecasted daughters, nieces, friends, basically silent attachments to male characters. But soon, Jill found her niche and became a comedic actress. By the time she was chosen to play Agent 007's girlfriend, the actress had already established herself in Hollywood and could be more picky. By the way, she became the first American to play a Bond girl, and the screenwriters apparently decided to emphasize this fact by giving the character stereotypical traits of American women and making her shrewish. After Bond, St. John's career took off. She did a lot of movies and television, but never neglected her personal hobbies and cooking. Jill has frequently appeared as a cooking expert on American talk shows and even wrote her own cookbook. She also created a business making handmade Angora wool sweaters, has a passion for growing orchids, skiing, hiking, and more. At 83 years old, St. John stays active. In 2023, she ran for a seat on the Aspen Fire Department's board of directors. Jane Seymour, surpassing Bond. Solitaire, who possessed psychic powers, was played by British actress Jane Seymour in the 8th Bond film. Live and Let Die was one of her first high-profile projects, after which the actress starred mostly on American TV. The Emmy and Golden Globe Award-winning television actress was able to transcend the role unlike many other Bond girls. She is best known for the TV series Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and its feature-length sequels. The same series led the actress to meet her 4th husband. Overall, Jane has a lot of fascinating stories about her personal life. For example, her 3rd husband got her involved in questionable real estate financial transactions, and she went bankrupt. And her other relationship ended when her partner found out about his ex-girlfriend's pregnancy. Her 4th marriage also ended in divorce. But the woman didn't lose heart and posed for Playboy at the age of 67. At that time, she was able to talk about the events of 45 years ago, when she was harassed by a certain movie producer. Jane even cut her career short because of the experience, but later became a self-help book author. By the way, she also wrote fairy tales and books about pregnancy and children. Britt Ekland, the Smoking Hot Blonde. In the 9th official movie of the Bond franchise, MI6 agent Mary Goodnight, played by Britt Ekland, helps Bond escape from villains. In real life, the Swedish woman helped her musician boyfriends create music. She dated prominent industry figures such as Lou Adler and Rod Stewart, and married Stray Cats drummer Slim Jim Phantom in 1984. For the sake of her relationship, she even interrupted her acting career, which was quite successful. But one-sided, Britt only got roles of sexy blondes. Since the early 90s, she has mostly acted in theater, acted in episodic roles, and appeared in reality TV shows. That's what she does to this day. Barbara Bach, the feminist. In The Spy Who Loved Me, there was a breakthrough. James Bond was content with only one girl, and she could even be called a feminist. KGB Major Anya is quite a functional character. She is on a secret mission and seeks revenge for her murdered boyfriend. However, as expected, she doesn't keep her word to take down Agent 007. Yeah, people forget about revenge when Roger Moore's around. This character was played by American actress and model Barbara Bach. She married early, had children, and moved to Italy, simultaneously working in television and movies. In 1975, she returned to the US but didn't abandon her career, and that's when she got lucky to meet the producers of the Bond franchise. However, the girl didn't appreciate the concept of the franchise, noting after the premiere that Bond is a chauvinist pig who uses girls to protect himself from bullets. Bach's personal life is also noteworthy. Her second husband in 1981 was the legendary Beatle Ringo Starr. They are together to this day, although things have not been smooth in their lives. They struggled with addictions in the 80s but remained clean after a stint in rehab. Annoyed Lois Childs. The 11th Bond film was the most prominent project of American Lois Childs. In the early 70s, she had a successful modeling career and appeared on movie screens in small roles. Childs could have become Bond's girlfriend one movie earlier, but declined as she was taking a break from her acting career at the time due to her brother's serious illness. She ended up being remembered for portraying astronaut scientist Holly Goodhead, working undercover for the CIA on the space shuttle. Since then, people are constantly asking her to whisper,
James,
which frankly annoys the actress. After her brother's death, Lois again interrupted her career, but it proved difficult to return to movies. Afterward, she mostly had episodic roles, working in television and teaching acting at the University of Houston. Carole Bouquet, the long-legged blonde girl. Frenchwoman Carole Bouquet has been dubbed the owner of the longest legs in the history of the Bond franchise, but otherwise, her Melina Havelock is no different from the rest of the Bond girls, just another beauty who dreams of revenge. The actress's real life is much more interesting. She has won the Caesar Award several times, was a model for the Chanel fashion house and the face of their perfume No. 5. Her solid filmography, which is still being expanded, has allowed her to serve on the juries of prestigious film festivals, and since 2005, she has been running a winery on the island of Pantelleria in the Strait of Sicily. Maud Adams, Bond girl on her second try. In 1983, the 13th Bond film was named after Agent 007's girlfriend, the smuggler Octopussy, and the role was played by Swedish actress Maud Adams. Interestingly enough, she has already appeared alongside James Bond in an episodic role of The Man with the Golden Gun. In her youth, Maud entered a beauty contest held by a local magazine, won it, and then began her modeling career. At one point, she became the highest paid and most in-demand model. She also got into movies as a model, but then they began to invite her to other projects, including the Bond franchise. The actress was asked to return to Agent 007 by producer Albert Broccoli, since he liked her well. Looking back, Adams admits that she loved being one of the Bond girls because it's a part of pop culture, but she had no other prominent roles. But she was president of a Swedish cosmetics company and has been happily married to a retired judge since 1999. Grace Jones, Bond's gorgeous rival. In the film A View to a Kill, one of Bond's girlfriends was gorgeous Grace Jones. This Jamaican singer, model, and actress played the femme fatale Mayday. She was suggested for the role by aforementioned Barbara Bach. In her person, James Bond met a worthy opponent because she had challenged his dominance and masculinity. Apparently, the writers didn't allow that kind of rivalry and killed off Mayday. Unlike most of the other girls of the Special Agent, Grace had many more opportunities after her role in the Bond franchise. She established a successful music and modeling career, and her appearance on screens have always been memorable to viewers. Her personal life is no less prominent. Her lovers have always been only strong men, from Dolph Lundgren to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jones has been performing at music festivals in recent years, and in 2022 performed guest vocals on Beyoncé's song Move. We should also mention her influence on pop culture in general. Her striking images have influenced many artists and photographers, and there are art exhibitions in her honor. Mariam Dee, a Bond girl forever. When Timothy Dalton became James Bond, he was paired with a British woman named Mariam Dee. After the premiere, she gained worldwide fame, and riding on this wave, the girl starred in a candid photo shoot for Playboy magazine. However, she later admitted that those photos were a big mistake. Mariam then starred in television and cinema projects and wrote a book, Bond Girls Forever, paying tribute to the actresses who portrayed these characters. By the way, there is a documentary movie of the same name based on the book. Her career was cut short by a stroke in the 2000s, and after her recovery, she spent a lot of time supporting people with similar experiences and produced a documentary on the subject. Now the actress is 63 years old, and she is actively starring in movies. Insecure Carrie Lael. In License to Kill, one of the Bond girls was Pam Bouvier, played by actress and former model Carrie Lael. After being approved for the role, she watched almost every movie in the franchise for inspiration but still felt unsure. Carrie didn't think of herself as a glamorous girl the way girlfriends of the special agent usually are. She even showed up to the audition in jeans and a leather jacket. After her starring role, Lael acted on the TV series Law & Order for many years, but at one point became disillusioned with her acting career and applied to study documentary filmmaking at New York University. Unstoppable Famke Janssen. In the 17th film of the Bond franchise, when Pierce Brosnan took over as Agent 007, the writers decided to add a strong female character to the story once again. In GoldenEye, Xenia, played by Famke Janssen, could rival Bond with her cynicism, self-centeredness, and unstoppable desire to get the upper hand. The actress herself is known for her strong character. After studying economics for a year, she radically changed direction and began to study literature. Then she became a model, played guest roles in TV series, and GoldenEye was her big screen debut. However, she was never typecast. After the Bond movie, she got the role of Dr. Jean Grey in 2000's X-Men and starred in the Taken trilogy. Famke continues her acting career and speaks out on socially important issues. She speaks openly about sexism in Hollywood, advocates for animal rights, and in 2008 was named a UN Goodwill Ambassador. Feisty Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh and her Wai Lin in Tomorrow Never Dies is quite a feisty character. She is widely regarded as one of the best Bond girls ever. She was a master of martial arts who jumped off a skyscraper, raced on a motorcycle, playfully rejected Agent 007's advances, and never got naked in front of the audience. After filming, Pierce Brosnan even said that Michelle should have been the one to play Bond. As usual in the Bond franchise, Yeoh participated in beauty pageants and became Miss Malaysia. After that, her career was on a smooth upward trajectory. Following the role of Wai Lin, the actress played in the films Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Memoirs of a Geisha, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and many others. Then in 2022, there was a premiere of the sci-fi action comedy Everything Everywhere All at Once, starring Michelle. The actress won an Oscar for it, becoming the first Asian winner in her category. Yeoh's personal life is also great. In July 2023, she married sports manager Jean Todt, although they got engaged back in 2004. Sapiosexual Sophie Maro. The daughter of Scottish oil tycoon Electra King was played by a French woman, Sophie Maro. At that point, she was already a sought-after actress, the face of famous brands, and the 19th Bond film was just another project in her filmography. Apart from filming, Maro performs in theater, paints oil and watercolor paintings, and is involved in environmental activism. She also makes movies as a director, albeit not very often. As for her personal life, Maro was in a relationship with actor Christopher Lambert for many years, and considers herself a sapiosexual. She is attracted to intelligence. Halle Berry, the Oscar-winning Bond girl. American spy Jinx appears before Bond, played by Pierce Brosnan, just like Ursula Andress 40 years earlier, out of the sea foam on a Cuban beach. But this character is remarkably intelligent, and she was portrayed by Halle Berry. She competed in beauty pageants and became the first African-American U.S. representative at Miss World 1986. She was also the first African-American woman to win an Academy Award for Best Actress. Throughout her career, she starred in numerous successful films, so a Bond girl is far from the first role that comes to mind when her name is mentioned. Halle is one of Hollywood's highest-paid actresses, honored with her own star on the Walk of Fame. She made her directorial debut in 2020 with the sports drama Bruised. Eva Green, a charming Frenchwoman. Charming Frenchwoman Eva Green co-starred with Daniel Craig in his first Bond movie. She began her acting career in theater and gained worldwide fame for her role in Ridley Scott's epic historical drama Kingdom of Heaven. The Bond movie solidified her success, but Eva didn't stop there. Now, she is one of the most famous actresses and Tim Burton's favorite. As of 2018, she is also a Chevalier of the Order of Arts and Letters of France. One of her latest projects was The Three Musketeers, but Eva also dreams of returning to theater. Olga Kurylenko, the Ukrainian Bond girl. In Quantum of Solace, the love interest of the spy with a license to kill was played by Ukrainian model Olga Kurylenko. As early as at the age of 18, she appeared on the covers of leading fashion publications. Her movie debut was in 2005. Then Olga played the lead role in a low-budget erotic movie, The Ring Finger. The girl gained her first fame thanks to the anthology film Paris, I Love You. Then there was James Bond and his Quantum of Solace, and after that a number of Hollywood projects. These included the satirical comedy The Death of Stalin and Marvel's Black Widow. Kurylenko's filmography is constantly expanding, and for the past 2 years, she has been actively advocating against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Baroness Marlo, 15-minute Bond girl. Skyfall probably has the least amount of romance in the whole Bond franchise. The nominal Bond girl, played by Frenchwoman Baroness Marlo, appears on screen for about 15 minutes and then gets killed. That was the reason the writers were criticized for going back to the consumerist attitude towards women. Bond seduces the character despite her complicated backstory and reacts coldly to her death. Before Bond, Marlo starred mainly in French TV series, and after Skyfall, she appeared in other Hollywood films. However, this fleeting appearance on the screen next to Craig didn't bring much popularity to the actress. Monica Bellucci, the Bond MILF. Inspector, the screenwriters decided to make things right, and Agent 007's girlfriend was 51-year-old Monica Bellucci. The actress, who needs no introduction, admitted she was flattered by the producer's offer to become the secret agent's new infatuation. It was important for her to show on screen that women over 50 are also attractive. True sexiness is in the mind, the imagination, not in the age of the body, Bellucci said in an interview. Lea Seydoux, the mother of Bond's children. Spectre also featured the first appearance of Madeleine Swann, one of the few people Bond truly loved, and the first girl in the entire series to have his child. At first, the franchise creators were looking for a Scandinavian blonde, but then expanded their search and eventually settled on Frenchwoman Lea Seydoux. The girl was born in one of the most influential families in France, but she is undeniably talented. Her other works include Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds, Ridley Scott's Robin Hood, Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris, and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. In 2021, Lea reprised the role of Madeleine in the 25th Bond film No Time to Die. Ana de Armas, the Determined Beauty. The episodic role of a CIA agent helping Bond in Cuba was played by a Cuban and Spanish beauty, Ana de Armas. She dreamed of becoming an actress from a young age, although she was only able to watch TV at her friend's house. Neither poverty nor the isolation of Cuba and lack of English language skills prevented the determined girl to climb the Hollywood Olympus. And now she stars in films like Blade Runner 2049, Knives Out, and Blonde, and is a nominee and winner of prestigious movie awards. And next year, 2025, she'll appear in the title role of the movie Ballerina, a John Wick spin-off.
Goodbye.
You were excellent.
You too.
Which of the girls of the amorous James Bond do you like most?